and Happy New Year. Welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, we kick off the new year by featuring the Norfolk County RSVP program. Director Lucille Casas will be joining us shortly. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's cold. It's 22 degrees right now. The clouds will be increasing throughout the day today. It's going to remain cold enough for a little bit of snow. Moving in later this evening, shouldn't amount to too much. Temperatures tonight will dip into the mid-20s. Kind of unsettled for tomorrow as well. A lot of clouds around tomorrow. Chance for some more late in the day snow showers that'll eventually change over to some rain showers as temperatures tomorrow climb above freezing. First time in a long time. Then a bit of a January thaw later this week. Showers will clear out here on Wednesday. Temperatures climbing to the upper 30s. And look at Thursday. It's going to be beautiful. Lots of sunshine, mild temperatures in the mid-40s, and the warmer weather should last into Friday as well before things cool down again next weekend. But again, we have partly cloudy skies, 22 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, swearing-in ceremonies will be held this evening for the Quincy City Council. 7 of the 9 councilors are new to the office after the November election. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says the ceremony will begin at 6 p.m. in the Great Hall at Quincy City Hall.
I've spoken with Ann Mahoney. She'll be the council president. And beyond that, I really don't know anything about, committees or things like that yet, but we're finishing up the program for the swearing in now, putting the final touches on that. And the invitations are with the counselors. And so, yeah, it should be a fun evening.
State Auditor Diana DeZoglio will be a special guest at tonight's ceremony. Ward 2 Councilor Richard Ashe and Councilor at Large Noel DeBona are the only councilors returning for 2 more years. Ashe ran unopposed and DeBona won re-election. Councilor at Large Nina Liang and Ward 3 Councilor Ian Kane did not seek re-election. Incoming at-large Councilor Ann Mahoney, expected to be the new council president, has already announced that Ward 6 Councilor Deb Riley will be chairing the Finance Committee. Ward 1 Councilor David Jacobs will chair the Oversight Committee. And Ward 5 Councilor Maggie McKee will be chairing the Ordinance Committee. Public is invited to tonight's ceremony. Some light refreshments will be served after the meeting. Now, supporters of those proposed statues of St. Michael and St. Florian for the entrance to the new public safety complex in Quincy are expected to rally outside City Hall before tonight's swearing-in ceremony. Those supporters will gather at the Thomas Crane Library in Quincy Center at 5 o'clock and then walk over to City Hall at 5:30 for what they say will be a visible, calm show of community support. A judge has placed an injunction on the installation of these statues as a lawsuit plays out in Norfolk Superior Court. The city has appealed that injunction, and so far no new court date has been set for that case. Another court hearing is set, though, for this week regarding the proposed pay raise for the Quincy mayor. Quincy Citizens for Fair Raises will be in Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham this Thursday at 9 a.m. for an evidentiary hearing. The judge ordered the city to re-examine the signatures that were rejected on a petition that was seeking to roll back the mayoral raise from $285,000 to $183,000 per year. The city will present their findings at this Thursday's hearing. The citizens group is suing, arguing that the city should have used the printed names on the petition to verify the voter status of the people who signed the petition. In the meantime, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch has proposed that the annual mayoral salary go from the current $159,000 per year to $225,000 effective in 2028. Well, construction on a new health center in Quincy Center reached a pretty major milestone recently. A topping off ceremony was held last month on the new Beth Israel Lahey Center that's being built on McConville Way. That ceremony marks the completion of the steel structure of the new building. that will be home to the new complex. It will include primary care, urgent care, cardiology, radiology, OB/GYN services, lab services, a retail pharmacy, and some other healthcare services. Fox Rock Properties of Quincy is developing the project. Consigli Construction Company is building the actual center, which is expected to be completed in 2027. What has been known as Health Express centers are now called South Shore Health Urgent Care. South Shore Health announced the name change recently, saying the new name reflects its close connection to the region's leading health system. There are 6 locations of these centers across the South Shore, offering treatment for illnesses and injuries that don't require a visit to the emergency room. South Shore Health says that their urgent care centers are staffed by emergency room trained providers who are part of the larger South Shore Health system. Those centers also offer electronic access for patients so you can view wait times, choose the most convenient location, and alert staff before arriving to minimize wait times and check-in procedures. That is our check of news for you today. Coming up, Lucille Cassis is joining us with an update on the Norfolk County RSVP program. That's next. Welcome back. I thought a great way to kick off the new year would be to offer you some new opportunities for volunteering across Norfolk County. No better way to do that than with the Norfolk County RSVP program. Director Lucille Cassis stopped on by to tell us what's available for you. Happy New Year, Lucille.
Hi, Joe. Happy 2026.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Actually, new too is you.
Exactly.
Right? About how long has it been now at the program?
Just about a year.
Okay.
I started in February of 25.
Oh,
so,
okay. All
yeah,
right.
coming up on a year.
How's it going?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very rewarding service that we run, and people are very enthusiastic. It's very positive, so it's lucky me.
You get to see the best of mankind, right?
Yes,
Folks
yes.
volunteering their time to do good, right?
It's a dream,
Yeah.
really.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Good
Yeah.
for you. For folks who don't know, we should start out with just a little recap of what RSVP program is.
Absolutely. So the acronym RSVP is Retired Senior Volunteer Program. And RSVPs across the country are organized to enable volunteers, people who are 55 or older, to volunteer in their community. And we operate on a grant partially from AmeriCorps Seniors, which is a federally funded grant, and we're sponsored by the County of Norfolk.
Okay.
And our RSVP has an actual solid history right here in Quincy because it was operated out of QCAP, Quincy Community Action Programs, about 20 years ago, and the county took over the program and began running it through our offices in Dedham.
Oh, okay.
So
Is that unique to Norfolk County RSVP?
it actually is that
yeah.
a municipality
Yeah.
would usually it's a more of a nonprofit
Right.
type thing, and there's several nonprofits that run RSVPs. Foster grandparents
Oh.
is another part of that AmeriCorps family.
I see, okay.
And senior advocates, they call them. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, last time you were here with County Commissioner Joe Shea, we talked
Yes.
a little bit about how cutbacks at the federal level might impact the RSVP. Have you seen that happen?
Yes.
You have,
So back in April of 25, unfortunately, AmeriCorps as an organization, which is a federal or quasi-public organization, they laid off probably 85% of their staff.
Wow.
And they also run the AmeriCorps program for people under 55. So those are the folks, the young kids that go out and do service, kind of like the Peace Corps
Yep.
stateside.
Sure.
And they usually go through FEMA, and they go out to disaster sites
Yes.
and all of that.
Yeah.
And they get stipends and housing to perform those volunteer activities. So that was pretty devastating. We're on a 3-year grant right now, and we're funded through April of this year.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going to happen,
Okay.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we've also applied to the Mass Department of Transportation for our Rides for Vets service. So
Yes.
we're looking for different ways to maybe restructure the program if we are not able to get additional funding.
Okay.
But we're keeping our fingers
Yeah, yeah,
crossed, and
yeah.
hopefully the government will at least partially fund the grant for the
Okay.
next 3 years.
So major challenge for you, Lucille, in your first year.
It was. It was kind of a surprise.
Sure.
But what can you do? I've worked in government before, so
Yes.
we're used to rolling with the punches, and it's such a, we're so committed to it. County Commissioner Joe Shea and Peter Collins from Milton and Richard Stady from Canton, the 3 commissioners are very committed to this program. So I feel fortunate that I have the muscle behind
Right.
it,
Yeah.
and it's just a wonderful service. And we provide. Last year we provided 16,000 hours of service
Okay.
to various nonprofits in different roles. And our Rides for Vets program, we do almost 1,000 rides a year.
Wow.
So we really fill a need, and it would be a shame, obviously, if it had to go away. But I feel pretty confident that we're going to hang on.
Good. Good.
So,
we'll have you
yeah.
back after April and see how things are.
Oh,
going, too.
thanks. Yeah, that would be,
absolutely.
yeah.
But the county commissioners control the purse strings, so they're looking, I'm sure, very diligently to find funding to keep things going.
They are.
Yeah.
They're very good about that.
Excellent.
So we're very fortunate.
So what is available in 2026 for volunteer opportunities, Lucille?
Oh gosh,
Through the
runs
RSVP
the
program?
gamut.
Yeah.
So I think our flagship program is probably our Rides for Vets service.
No question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just we really fill a niche in terms of it's that sweet spot where, you know, the veteran maybe had just recently stopped driving themselves and are unable to do that, and maybe their adult children are still working.
Sure.
So when you look at the demographics, the average age of our riders is probably in the mid 80s.
Okay. Wow.
And
Yeah.
their adult children are in their early 60s, late 50s,
Yep.
and they're still working
Of
and
course.
have a hard time helping out. So I think, we fill a need that is really important to get people to and from their medical appointments. Most of the rides are to the VAs,
Sure.
the West Roxbury, Brockton, and Jamaica Plain.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally we'll go for the folks that live in the western part of the county, like Bellingham and Plainville. Sometimes they'll utilize the Providence VA.
Okay.
So it's only a 40-minute ride from there.
Gotcha.
So we have 40 drivers who are absolutely wonderful. Most are veterans themselves,
Are they?
so
Yeah.
they have a nice camaraderie with the rider.
Absolutely.
And they just really enjoy taking people to their appointments. And we only ask that you do 2 rides per month, although a lot of folks do more.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick the rides you want. We have an online system where you just go in and look at what's available and pick whatever you want.
Okay.
So there's no, commitment to every, Thursday or something.
I see.
It's random.
At your convenience,
At your
basically.
convenience,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And we did a ton of rides last year, so we're looking to do more.
Sure.
And help those folks that maybe don't qualify for the VA rides. So the VA, it's income based when they send the van to pick folks up. Unfortunately, we can't do a wheelchair. We can't accommodate a wheelchair because our volunteers are using their own vehicles. And,
Right, yeah.
So, but that's when they have to send the van. Or they can use the ride.
Through the T.
Through the T,
Okay.
through the T, exactly. However, when you take the ride or the VA van, you're driving around a bit. So
It's not just you, right?
it's not just you.
yeah.
There's other people on the
It's not
bus.
Not a private ride. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this, people love it because it's door to door, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's really good.
Who are your drivers, or who can be a driver?
That's a great question. So obviously you have to have a good driving record.
Of course. Yeah.
We all Corey check everyone.
Okay.
And you have to have a sturdy vehicle.
Okay.
You have to have a working vehicle, and we check all that in the interview process.
I see. Okay.
Then I think about the average age of a driver is in the early 70s.
Okay.
And they've retired, but they're still looking to give back.
Sure.
And like I said, they're veterans themselves,
Yeah.
and although we have many women that drive,
Is that right?
yeah, and most of the veterans are male, but we have some female drivers as well, and
And more and more women veterans too.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
as they
as the
retire.
generations.
Yes.
But in that demographic, it is more male riders
Right
and
now.
male drivers.
Sure.
But they just do a wonderful job, and they're so selfless. And they'll call me and say, I really want to take this guy again because he's such a nice guy.
really
and so
clicked,
we,
yeah.
they have there's relationships there where I'll try to match up
Nice.
people that they want to drive.
Yeah.
So. But they do a wonderful job, and they'll help them to the door and back. But most of the folks have to be ambulatory. They can have a walker or a cane, which
Okay.
is fine, and they can go in and out on their own.
Okay.
Although, if you have a procedure like a endoscopy, say, or a colonoscopy, we will go in and sign you out
Oh, all
because
right.
that's required.
They won't release the patient
They
unless
won't,
there's
yeah, and they
an
won't
authorized
release you to
driver.
a cab. So
Right.
really, those are really important rides
Okay.
for the person.
Okay, good
Yeah.
to know as well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on the number of rides that somebody can give?
Not really.
okay.
We reimburse for mileage
Okay.
up to 300 miles a month. So I guess that's the limit. But
Okay.
we do 40 cents a mile
All right.
reimbursement, and we do occasional gas cards when our budget permits.
Sure.
We might do that a couple of times a year. Usually around Christmas time we do it, just as an extra incentive for folks who are giving of their time
Absolutely.
and treasure, and
Yeah.
they're putting wear and tear in their vehicle too. So
Yes.
we try to do that, and the drivers love it. And we do a nice luncheon every summer.
It's very
and
popular,
Get
yes.
everybody together, and
Yeah.
we give out awards for people who have driven the most miles and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of, you put
Yes.
together a really neat bar chart.
I did.
That we want to
I
show
did.
folks
Sure.
to give an idea of where these drivers are coming from. Look at that.
Yeah, I was
So
curious.
Quincy beats them all.
Quincy's about 20%. Quincy, Weymouth, Dedham area, about
Yeah.
20 to 30% of our riders come from there.
Sure.
And I was actually surprised to see that as well, because I was thinking it was more the middle part of the county. But lots of folks coming from Quincy, and yet I don't have a lot of drivers from Quincy. So, but there's folks from the middle of the county who are willing to drive
come
and
here
just go right through and
up to
take folks to
Boston or
to
Jamaica
VA,
Plain.
to Jamaica Plain,
Okay.
exactly. But this is like a month snapshot, so you can see
Oh.
kind of where people are coming from. And again, the VAs have that income requirement, so we don't charge anything. Obviously, it's a volunteer service,
Yeah.
and sometimes our riders want to tip the driver, and we say we don't want to tip.
accept that,
No,
yeah.
no, we don't want that. We're doing this as a service,
Right.
so
Okay.
and it's part of the grant. So
Yeah, what a great way too for veterans to give back.
Oh, yeah.
To either folks they may know through the military or get to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we work very closely with the councils on aging. So the Kennedy Center,
Yep.
the senior centers in the county refer people to us when they also do rides, but most of the senior centers do just local, like
Yes.
supermarket and
Yes,
whatnot.
right, yeah.
They don't usually do outside of the town that they're representing.
Right,
So
yeah, it's paid for by that municipality, so
Exactly.
it stays in their borders, yeah.
right.
Now, can a
Yeah.
driver bring a veteran to a private doctor's appointment?
Oh, absolutely.
they can? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, private. I would say probably 60% of the rides are to the VAs, and the other 40% are private appointments throughout
Yeah.
the county to
Okay.
their dentist, doctor. When we have a couple of folks that we take them to important errands like pharmacy, or
I was going to ask
they have
about
to pay the cable bill, or they
yeah.
want to do it in person or go to the bank.
a shopping trip. Would that be
We,
part of
we,
it, or-
we do occasional shopping
Okay.
trips. Yep. As long as it usually is about an hour and a half limit. Otherwise, we split the ride
Okay.
where we have a driver take to and from.
I see.
So,
Okay.
those are shorter shopping trips.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I mean, if transportation and mobility are an issue, this is a critical service for these folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with the AmeriCorps grant, their focus is on senior isolation
Yeah.
as well as transportation.
Yeah.
So this kind of fits both of those requirements in
Absolutely,
terms
yeah.
of that might be the only person that that rider sees
Right.
in that week or 2 weeks, it could be.
Which also translates into better mental health as well. You know, I mean, it's
Absolutely.
You can't, I don't think you can see the benefits just from looking at a bar graph like that. These numbers are, there are people behind them.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah,
And one great story is this woman who is still working because she's in her late 50s and is a full-time caregiver for her dad.
Wow.
And she called me and said, you know, I just couldn't possibly get him to his PT appointments. He had
she's
a
got
fall.
basically 2 full-time jobs essentially.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And she's like, you guys have just saved our life
See that,
because
yeah.
I could never, you know, I'd lose my job
Yeah.
if I had to take him.
So it's helping
you
the
know.
entire family.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
not just the,
Which is really
the
nice
patient.
to
Yeah,
hear. Yeah.
absolutely. So that's your main program. And
It is.
You're always looking for folks to participate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we're also in the schools, so
Okay.
we have about a dozen folks that are in the elementary schools throughout Norfolk County, grades pre-K to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and they're helping their teachers with reading, the fundamentals, math skills. And a lot of them are retired teachers who just miss the classroom,
I
which
see.
is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So they know the drill. They know,
Oh, yeah.
you know, what to expect, and the teacher loves having them come in because, you know, it takes the pressure
like a
off if they have
second-
20 some odd students in the
second teacher,
class.
yeah,
You know, and they're there once a week, maybe twice a week in some cases,
Okay.
and they absolutely love it. So we have a whole cadre of school-based volunteers as well.
Nice. Nice.
And then we work obviously with all the nonprofits. We have friendly visitors to nursing homes,
Mm-hmm.
long-term care facilities, and even to private homes for isolated seniors who can't get out and
Okay.
just looking for someone to talk to. And we also have ESOL. We have a great new program in at St. Jerome's Church, right in Weymouth, where it's called My Lee, and it's an adult daycare for Vietnamese speaking
Really?
seniors.
Oh.
And we have a volunteer who was very experienced in English as a second language, ESOL, and she wanted to do something in the schools, and we didn't have a placement for her, so we matched her up with this, and she's just having a great experience.
Started
you
up
know,
by herself, basically.
Yeah, she used AI. I was telling you earlier,
Yeah.
used AI to come up with a curriculum because
Yeah.
she doesn't speak Vietnamese, but she has one of the staffers kind of troubleshoot when she runs into some, you know, obstacles, and,
Yeah.
and he does a great job in helping her out. But
Okay, all right.
the seniors there love it, and she said, you know, they're all at different levels.
Yeah.
Some may only went to the 3rd grade,
Wow.
or, you know, in their own country.
Yes.
But are just very eager to learn English, and it's such a nice program.
Interesting,
And she's
yeah.
she's really spearheaded that
Yeah.
in Weymouth. So.
Wow, that sounds like one that could be duplicated too.
Absolutely.
In other parts of the county, yeah.
Yeah, especially where she's developed the curriculum. I think
Right.
you know we absolutely could do that in other places.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
AI is just infiltrating
Oh, I know,
all
I
aspects of
know.
our lives.
I confess I have to use it sometimes, but
Meals on Wheels, I know, is another big one. right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. South Shore Elder Services, we have probably another dozen folks driving. They always need people
Okay.
to do Meals on Wheels, and again, that's like a weekly, monthly commitment. It's up to the person.
Yep.
And I know that they're always calling me for new folks, and
Okay.
the nice thing about RSVP is we're kind of like a headhunter for volunteers.
Right. Well, this is kind of a central gathering place, if you will, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we do all the background and the interviews,
Yes.
and we kind of vet the person, and then
Yes.
we just hand them over, to the nonprofit, and they love it because that's a whole other step that they don't have to worry about.
That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to fill out their paperwork too, and
Sure.
like for the schools, you have to do another query
Makes
for them,
perfect sense.
which
Yeah.
is understandable.
Yeah.
But they really enjoy working with us, and our group of volunteers is like their own community, and they have the benefit of being able to work with me in terms of any problems that come up with the volunteer
Yeah.
role, and I can usually be a liaison between the
Absolutely.
nonprofit and the person
Yep.
to solve it.
You do have a contracted position available, right, at RSVP?
Yes, we do. We do. Our volunteer coordinator retired in October, and just because of the uncertainty of the funding, we're doing a short-term contract position.
Okay.
And it's very flexible, however many hours the person wants to work a week.
Okay.
to help me and to help the program, stay on top of all the volunteer requests that
Yeah.
come in. We almost can't keep up, so.
But kind of a good problem
Which is
to
a
have,
good
right?
problem to
Yeah,
have, but
yeah.
the whole processing of volunteers and helping us with the ride dispatch and
Somebody
taking
with
in the
good
calls.
organizational skills, it sounds like.
Absolutely, yeah,
Reach
yeah.
out to you for that?
Yes, please,
Okay, all right.
yes.
We've been
So-
putting up your website, your,
Oh, good.
your
My phone
email,
number.
your phone number.
Perfect.
It's all out there.
Excellent, that's good to know.
So great to talk to you, Lucille.
Same here, Joe,
Great way
thank
to kick
you.
off the new year. Hope
Thanks
you
for
have
the
a-
opportunity.
Oh, please come back.
Absolutely.
We'll have you back. All
It'd be a
right.
pleasure.
Just enough time to take a look at the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today, we've got increasing clouds and chilly temperatures. Won't get up to 30 this afternoon. That'll bring in some light snow through the evening commute. Lows tonight down into the mid-20s. For tomorrow, kind of unsettled, cloudy, a little warmer. Still a chance for some afternoon showers, maybe rain and or snow with highs in the mid-30s. That'll taper off Wednesday. Some clearing in the afternoon, a little milder, and we're all waiting for Thursday with that January thaw, sunny and near 50 degrees in some locations. Thanks again to Lucille Casas for joining us for the Norfolk County RSVP
Thanks,
program. Thanks to our crew, and thank you for watching. Friday here in the program, Manic Community Health Center is stopping by with some information about changes to the Affordable Care Act and how they may impact you, so please join us for that. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.